Why? Why do I always lose? This is not fair.
You said the victor commands the vanquished. Does that mean you'll join us now? We're fighting for peace in this world.
Your cause doesn't concern me.
As the princess of an empire, you must have fought for the sake of your people. We're doing the same thing here. I'm sure you can understand that.
A ruler's duty is to the people. Indeed, I have said as much before, but I did all that I could for Emblem, and still my goals were forever out of reach. You have many allies, and the power to summon emblems. Is that not enough? You already have all you could possibly need.
We could always use more help. I, for one, would feel a lot better with you on our side.
I have nothing to offer you.
That's not true. You're a strong and capable leader. You'd be a powerful friend to have.
You really do say strange things. Friendship doesn't interest me, but perhaps it is better than being alone. Fine. You may use my power for a time.
Thank you, Emblem Veronica. Let's head back. Your new allies are all going to be happy to meet you.
We'll see about that. It has been a long time since I've been among a crowd. I'm not accustomed to such things. Still, the thought is not an unpleasant one. I will speak with these allies of yours.
Emblem Veronica is now in the guide. I would love to save. 2 emblems left to go. So we've now recruited Emblem Veronica. All that's left now is Robin and Marth. We've seen, or Robin / Crom. We've seen Crom's map and how crazy it can get. And Marth's one is apparently like a 2-parter one. One chapter right into the next. So like, you know, neither of them will exactly be easy per se. I don't think. An owl? Yes, bring it back to the Somniel. Yeah, it's kind of what it seems like there. So it makes me wonder if I should try to get things like my, my saline invincibility blend build that I have planned online before doing that. I've resigned myself not to live through that battle, yet here I am, thanks to your leadership. Yeah, we managed to clear it this time.
Well done.
Well done. I suppose we're allies now. So be it. Yeah, apparently your engage attack is straight up summoning an ally. So you've gotten a lot stronger, you'd fit right in as the hero of a fairy tale. And yoink. Tomato times 2. Not just 1 tomato, but 2 tomato. That seems like more powerful now. Yeah, you've maxed out your bond with Tiki, which is pretty cool. Hi.
True.
Now that the battle is over, we can take some time to relax and enjoy the scenery. Which means I should be able to give him the highest level of Geosphere. Kinda hard to believe this pretty scenery was a battlefield just a little while ago, isn't it? Yeah, what a difficult thing to believe there. But yeah, that's what I imagine there, kind of like the summon doubles thing Bob there. Not reliable since you can be gotcha screwed and get a damn 3 star, yeah. So, I would imagine just someone to take aggro. Now, what experiments do I have time for here? Hello, Divine One. Please, don't mind me.
Hey,
Can't you tell? I got stronger. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but how awesome is that? Pretty awesome, man. It's pretty darn cool. Yoink. I'll take that more iron. I already talked to you. The knight's eyes went wide at the sight of the divine dragon's might. Well done, Divine One. Thanks. Been training really hard lately. I want to be ready just in case you ask me to join you again. I have some plans for you in my spreadsheet, but I don't have enough party space anyway.
yes.
I may have been useful in that battle. Should I praise myself? I suppose I can try. You were definitely useful in that battle, Alchrist.
Oh!
I want to wander off and explore. Oh, but that's all probably a bad idea. Princess of Illusia and all. I'm allergic to you wandering off and exploring.
I am sorry.
Battle was grueling. Worse, it reflected poorly on me. Some self-reflection is in order. Nah, you did well. The air here tastes strange. Is it the landscape? Or is it something else? It's weird how there's no items or anyone to talk to, like, all the way over there. Seems rather odd. Yoink, more bond fragments.
Right.
Well, as martial prowess goes, that last fight wasn't half bad. Nice to feel like I'm earning my keep. Oh, you definitely are, Diamant. No doubt about that. Facing strong opponents always leaves me invigorated. That was quite memorable. Though I didn't even bring you in the battle. I should be proud after taking down so many foes. Why do I instead feel rather sad? Sad think about the wasted time of my failed attempts before. Take me along into battle, will you? I can practically feel my muscles atrophy. That's so.
If I may.
Is it tiring, fighting in unfamiliar territory? Do be sure to rest once we are back at camp. Oh yeah, I'll be resting real good.
Hey!
Traveling like this makes me want to get a nice bonfire going. Too bad it isn't allowed here. Is it not allowed in the world of heroes? Ah, man. Hey, some steel. Stuff, I can always use that. I got a silver ingot from an amiibo this morning. This place is pretty not whatnot, but I'd love to know if any gruesome battles took place here. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Adopt the cat. You're coming with us. Come along. Adopted. Alright. Yeah. So, oh, I guess I can just do depart from the menu rather than needing to go to the edges. Yeah, so we may as well go to the Somniel, since I know that there's not gonna be, like, anything else appearing on the world map or anything like that, you know? I wonder what you need to do to get skirmishes to appear in, the Divine Paralogs. I still have yet to do a single skirmish. I still think it'd be fun to get through this game without using a single skirmish and all that. Like, I know I'm using DLC and stuff, but no skirmishes. It's random, huh? Well, here's hoping in that case, I guess. Hi, inspiring to see you running around being a leader. Wonder if that's how I used to look. How you'll look again when we, eventually get over to that game again. Maybe it's sacrilegious to say, but I want to find living in this holy place very pleasant. Yeah, glad to hear it, man. Always glad to hear that. Let's go around collecting our items and all that. Yoink, more nuts. And, whoa, I think we get more nuts down the stairs here as we do. As happens. Or here, yep. More of those. Why do people keep leaving them all over the place around here? Don't they know this is a sacred place? And all that? Wink. All kinds of things that turn into meals here. And yeah, I used the Amiibo Gazebo earlier today already. I actually remembered to do that.
Hello.
Nothing quite like a leisurely stroll to sort out the wanderings of the mind, is there? No, definitely isn't. Anything quite like that. Alright, aye!
Rhodia enjoys a robust fishing industry.
Do you fish at all? I've been fishing! Yeah, let's fish here. And I can do it 10 times.
Where were you thinking?
I'm thinking here, near that thingamabob. Is what I'm thinking. Ah, all the sniffles. Anyway, so I guess now that we're not in the stress of a battle, I have time to chat about whatever the heck. So in terms of the game situation on the channel right now, we have one more DLC to go in Assassin's Creed Origins, so I could probably do that in another stream or two. I can just mash here, right? Slightly sketchy. So, you know, I can do that in a couple more streams. I haven't done any Persona 5 Royal for a decent while, but I don't have to worry about running out of uploads on that front for some time anyway. So no big deal there. And yeah, I think it's basically the main things right now are, if I look at schedule, Smash Head Ray. Oh, cool. Yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, Fire Emblem Engage, and then like Fire Emblem 7. Assassin's Creed Origins, Persona 5 Royal. There's also Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and I guess I still haven't done like the new Mario Kart 8 DLC. So maybe I'll just do that like tomorrow for a weekend and make it. I probably should have made an announcement earlier in the week. I have trouble like committing to exact days to plan things out, is the case. But yeah, so there's just the Magalore epilogue now for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and we can do that in one sitting. The stuff with the Mario Kart 8 DLC will be one sitting at some point here. Probably 2 sittings left for AC Origins, and yeah, finish off Persona 5 Royal. There's still plenty of uploads for this to go for a while. So realistically, it would have been best to stream one of the other things. But the thing is, like, I was not originally planning on making guides on Fire Emblem for this game. I know I started making some guides for 3 Houses for a little while there. And this game has really gotten the creative juices flowing again, considering you actually get to keep your save file. Like, you get to keep on developing it, as opposed to 3 Houses, where it's one of the Fire Emblem games in the structure of 7, where it, like, always continuously gets closer to the end, and then once you hit the end, that's it for your save file, you know? one of those kinds of Fire Emblem games. So I like the return to like the classic format where it's like I can keep on working at the save file until the end of time, fleshing it out, making it amazing. And like I'd say that the spreadsheet right now is probably about 60 to 70% done. And it is the most elaborate, crazy, over-the-top spreadsheet I've ever made for Fire Emblem. It is insane. Yeah, I can just mash for a large one. Is indeed the case. So once I'm done with the spreadsheet, I'd like to do a guide kind of video there of, yeah, well, we'll see here. We'll see. Why is my chat broken?
Where were you thinking?
We'll see if it adds any other emblems, though. In terms of emblems, I think that I'm pretty much, you know, I have all the cards on the table. It might add some new characters and stuff. And we'll see if it's like a separate save kind of thing for the side story like it was for Three Houses, or if it's, you know, just additional maps like on the world and stuff like that. I hope it's additional maps on the world and stuff. And then presumably like more characters and stuff. Yeah, I can do that. It's fair enough. But in terms of planning out emblems for characters, oh yeah, adding new classes. Huh. So maybe some plans will change. So maybe I should wait a little bit longer then. In that case, I was kind of waiting for the final Emblem DLC because I figured along the way as I'm developing the spreadsheet, I could always, you know, make videos for my especially spicy builds that I brainstormed. One of the really big ones that I have recorded thus far is for Invincibility Soren build. And also think some of the enemy exclusive classes we saw in DLCs will become playable then. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting there. Though that wasn't exactly a class, that was a weapon. Was the case. Anyway, there are some really spicy builds I'm finding along the way, like Invincibility Soren, that I might have mentioned before around here. I can mention it in more detail now. Essentially, it's give Soren to a mystical unit, ideally Saline, because Saline is the only mixed physical and magic class in the entire game that falls under mystical. There's things like Mage Knight, but those fall under cavalry. So, if you want the Soren bonuses of mystical, then if you want like the highest defense stat you can get, you gotta give it to Saline with her exclusive class, since it's like the Robin equivalent. So I do that for defensive purposes. When you're engaged with Soren, his engaged skill is Flare, which reduces enemy res by 20%, 30% if you're a mystical unit, so even more damage there. And 50% of damage that you deal will be like healed back to you. Which means if you combine that with Roy's holdout, which, you know, makes it so as long as you start combat with 2 or more HP, you won't die, then that's pretty darn crazy. Because, like, enemy hits you, brings you down to 1 HP, and then you heal off of hitting them. Now you're above 2 HP. Now the next enemy attacks you, hits you down to 1 HP. You attack them, and then you heal a little bit off of them, and now you're no longer at 2 HP. It comes with some weaknesses.
Nicely done.
Like, if the enemy outspeeds you, then they can hit you down to 1 HP, you heal a little bit off of them, they hit you back down to 1 HP, and then the next enemy comes and attacks you, and then they hit you down to 1 HP again, and then another guy comes and attacks you, and they're able to kill you. And Vantage can't save you from that, because Vantage does its calculation at the, like, or no, because Holdout, sorry, does its calculation at the beginning of combat. So, it's if you have 2 or more HP at the beginning of combat. So, unfortunately, you can't just, like, Vantage heal and then be able to survive. Unless you healed, like, majorly. But Saline's decently fast. She shouldn't have to worry about getting outsped all that much, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. There's enemies attacking outside of your range, but she'd be able to attack up to 3 range anyway, so it's really just, like, ballista or meteors, stuff like that, which, you know, you're not going to be seeing too often, so it's not that big a deal. And there was one last weakness is missing. But, you know, you can always just forge up a tome to increase accuracy a whole bunch, and then hopefully not have to worry about missing, and then there you go, like 4 turns of engaged invincibility of doing enemy phase damage and stuff. And Soren invincibility build, and I want to give it to Saline. Because, you know, even though you can fluctuate back and forth from 1 HP, doesn't mean that you should be tempting fate too much because of those other potential weaknesses, which is why I want to give it to Saline and not, you know, a different mystical unit.
Do you want to keep going?
Is the case. And that was my plan there. Hello, Kyle. But yeah, there's that. But I already played Veronica's map. We did it. It's been beaten now. is the case. Anyway, so I wasn't originally planning on making Fire Emblem guides for this game, but one, it's something that I did for 3 houses, and it turned out, like, better than a lot of my other content that I do. 2, this game has majorly gotten the creative juices flowing, especially considering, like, 1, the depth that it has, and 2, the fact that I get to keep my save file. And 3, I've started to get videos recommended to me on YouTube of people, you know, making guides for various builds and stuff like that, that they'll have like super clickbaity, like most broken build or best build, and it'll consistently just be like really surface level, that's all right kind of stuff, but not anything too crazy. Like one of the common ones I see YouTubers using is Jean being like, oh yeah, Jean's personal skill means that he's gonna grow the fastest, so like use him, he's gonna be the most broken. It's like, well, if you're making the argument for during the main story, yeah, he'll grow faster than your other characters, but he has one of the lowest ceilings of like maximum potential in the game, considering, you know, he essentially has no personal skill at that point, and his maximum stat modifiers aren't amazing. Especially considering I've seen a few videos of people putting him into like physical classes when he has 0 strength MSM and he has a +2 magic MSM, and it's like, ah, the pain! So there's literally people out there promoting all sorts of misinformation under clickbaity titles. And it's like, wow, okay, if that's going on, then why don't I throw my hat into the ring? Why don't I pull a Thanos and say, fine, I'll do it myself. So I wasn't originally planning on making Fire Emblem Engage guides, but I think I am for like some of the crazier builds that I'm thinking up as I'm going through spreadsheets here. I did want to wait for the final Emblem DLC to come out, but now maybe I should wait for the final DLC to come out so that I can for sure make like definitive plans that, you know, last this whole game's lifetime. You know, because what if there's a character or class that comes out that does Sword and Invincibility build better? So maybe I will in that case. And then maybe I don't have to rush this as much if I have the time to wait until like the next DLC. But anyway, the reason why I want to do a little bit more of this is because I wanted to, when talking about that build, talk about like all the potential other options that you can do. One of which is using Micaiah and Nosferatu, because Nosferatu will heal as well. But it won't be as good as just attacking with anything with Soren. And another way that you could heal is with Marth, and that is with his Divine Speed, but only on a Dragon unit. Divine Speed on a Dragon unit. Well, Divine Speed, first of all, will do an additional attack of 50% damage. This is engaged skill. And if you give it to a Dragon unit, so either a Leer or Veil, it'll heal the damage that it does. And it's worth mentioning on there just as, like, here's an option just so that we're covering, like, the full ground here. You know, not leaving any stone unturned in terms of talking about it. But it is the suckiest version of invincibility build. Considering you need, if you're doubling, you need to 3rd hit to land to be able to heal. If you're single attacking, you need the first hit to not kill so that 2nd hit lands so that you can actually, you know, heal off of it. So, you know, I would not recommend trying invincibility build with, you know, a Leer and Marth, but it is a thing that's technically possible. So I want to do like some proper testing of it once I get Marth in this with like some different weapon types and see how that works. But, you know, considering you need that very final hit to be able to land, like it's not exactly a super great way to go for invincibility build. Finally begun to master the Somniel kitchen. Every kitchen comes with its own quirks. So even though I don't think it's all that worth running, because, you know, it's pretty sketchy there and is nowhere near as good an invincibility build as like Soren or even Makai invincibility build, it's still worth mentioning because I want to mention like everything when it comes to these. I don't want to leave anything missed. I don't want to just be like, oh, look at this one specific thing. Wow, wasn't that a cool video? It's like, no, this is our topic for today. Let's make sure that we're covering like the full ground here. That's the way that I handle my video essays. That's the way that I handle discussing game stuff here. So I have a lot of projects going on around this channel. Let's give you grapes this time. So I wouldn't put a massive ton of work into the guides in terms of editing. I'd probably make like a funny shit post at the beginning, and then for the actual video itself, just have me commentating over my spreadsheet, moving my mouse over the stuff that I'm talking about, discussing it out, and you know, just editing that down to flow better. That's it. So that I actually have time to continue working on things like the Scarlet and Violet video essay that I continue to lose my mind over, you know, is the plan there. So that's what I'm doing here. And that's why I wanted to get the Emblem rings. This, I don't know if I'm going to get all the Emblem rings this stream, but I wanted to work towards getting the last of the Emblem rings. Nice. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness, not a single one was Iron Ingot. Holy crap, that was so dang cool. Hi, Roy.
You know,
Someone said that if you laugh often, eat well, and get enough sleep, life will be good. But yeah, also got really motivated by being insulted by that guy. One of the guys that did make a guide promoting best build or most broken build or whatever the heck clickbaity thing it was, and it was putting Jean into a physical class, and I was like, are you kidding me here? So I made a long comment discussing maximum stat modifiers and how they work, and you know, being like, Jean's okay in this, but I did the math and determined that in terms of maximum stat modifiers that we care about, literally 92% of the cast was better. I calculated out there was only 3 units that would have been worse in that than Jean, and those were, I believe, Saline, Fogado, and some other magic unit, Citrine. Those 3 were the only ones that would be worse at it when we're talking about maximum stat modifiers. And he was talking about like maximum stats, like the ultimate build, like maximum stats and all that, not just, you know, the quickest way to get up to it. But he was like, yep, Jean's gonna be the one to go into it because of his personal skill. It doubles his class growth rates. It's like, wait, I thought we were talking about maximum stats here. You don't care about growth rates if we're talking about maximum stats. But yeah, so literally paraded a most broken build that literally 92% of the cast can do better than the character that he said was the best one to put into it. So I did that. So I put down a long comment saying like, hey, you know, this build is okay, but I feel obligated to correct the misinformation that's in this video. So I corrected on how maximum stats work, discussed maximum stat modifiers, discussed Jean's growth rates compared to maximum stat modifiers, and then I ended off the comment being like, you know, I literally make spreadsheets for every Fire Emblem game that I play. This is something that I do, crunching the numbers, and I have fun doing it. So, you know, if you ever want to talk shop, let me know. And they got really mad at that. Their response was like, LMAO, you really need to work on your sales pitch. You really need to look at the big picture more. You want to talk shop? Whatever the heck it was there. I have no doubt I got blocked from their channel. You can shadow ban people on YouTube. I have no doubt that I was shadow banned from their channel. And yeah, and you know, I was trying to be like, you know, respectful and all that. Like, even when they had said in the video that maximum stats in this game are determined by class rather than character, when that's only half the truth, is determined by that plus the character's maximum stat modifiers. When I corrected bits like that, I say, like, I assume that, you know, you didn't notice this other tab of information, considering this is the way that it worked in 3 houses, is it was just character specific, like your class didn't matter. So, you know, there'd even be instances where it's like, hey, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, honest mistake, stuff like that. It's not like I was coming after him or anything like that, but he was like, oh, you leave some obnoxious comment on my video and then you want to talk shop. So it was like, huh, well, if someone's out here, you know, promoting quote unquote best builds, well, it's actually some of the worst, and getting really, really pissed off when people correct them, I can probably do it better. So part of me also kind of worked harder on my spreadsheets after that, because it kind of lit a fire under me, you know? It lit a flame under my ass that was like, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I'm trying to stay in mansions and castles, but this is a far more exciting place to live. You know, I'm not at all the, did you just do a flip there? I'm not at all the kind of person that holds a grudge or anything like that. You know, I never look at situations like that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna show that person who's boss or anything like that. But when I see people promoting like misinformation to like such a large degree, and I know that I can do what they're doing better and help people out with this game more than they are, then I'm gonna feel more so obligated to do it just because I know that I can spread better information, you know, is the case. I found their response so weird. Look at the big picture when they were just doing the short term of, you know, here's the character that gets grinded up the fastest, as opposed to the character with the best maximum stats. You need to look at the big picture. Like, that one line of you need to look at the big picture has been stuck in my head rent-free for like the past couple weeks. I'm not usually the kind of person that lets comments or anything like that like stick around all that much with me, but that one line of telling me that I need to look at the big picture has just been in my head like rent-free for the past couple weeks now, because it's like, but that's what I'm doing by looking at the maximum possible stats, whereas you are looking at like the most short-term picture possible. Like just the most quick gratification of maxing out someone's stats rather than actually who has the best maximum stats. It's the most opposite of big picture that it can be while you tell me that I need to look at the big picture. So it's just been stuck in my head rent-free, that one line specifically, because it just flabbergasts me. Sweet. Yeah, so let's get rid of some other crap that I don't need here, I guess. Sure, do that. Yeah. Another flip there. Because, you know, I wanna emphasize, I'm not the kind of person that gets, like, ticked off by that kind of thing, being like, I'm gonna wage war! No, but, you know, if someone just says something really, really just dumb, whether it's on, like, my Pokemon video essays or whatever the heck, it'll just stick with me, and I'll just be pondering it, like, what do you even mean? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, let's do this minigame now, I guess. I'd if I want it for a Wyvern ride today? Yep, you bet.
Yeah.
You want to see how cute? Look up there, I'll go find Princess Ivy. So, yeah. So I guess you could say 4 reasons. But, you know, it's more so those main 3 reasons that I outlined, and them just getting, like, an even better fire lit under them after that situation there. So yeah, I'm gonna start making Fire Emblem Engage guides, but maybe I'll wait until the final DLC, and then I can make stuff that talks about, like, everything, and nothing's gonna get outdated, and then, you know, don't have to worry about any videos getting outdated down the line. It can just definitively be like, yep, is done. That's the ultimate stuff there. But yeah, so there's that. Scarlet and Violet being so bad is causing you even more pain, even though you don't need to play it. Yeah, it kind of is. I'm almost done with the first half of the story chapter right now. So the story chapter has 2 main sections. The story of Scarlet and Violet and analyzing it, taking it apart and stuff like that, and proposing some alternatives. And the second half is like my full story rewrite that I want to do. And the first half is already like half an hour long, is the case. So I'm starting to think that I might instead just have story on its own be like its own chapter, and then have the story rewrite be like a bonus chapter afterwards, since I haven't done like a story rewrite in any of the previous essays. So I think I might make a new chapter title card and turn it from like a 7-chapter video essay into an 8-chapter video essay. Not actually increasing the amount of material that I'm making for it, but just, you know, cutting it up into chapters in like a more easy to consume kind of way, you know? So it's like, here's the chapter on the story, and then bonus chapter, here's my whole story rewrite that I would do, you know? Since, you know, story has turned into a long enough chapter to warrant being kind of its own thing there, if it's about half an hour long, is the case. Which is the shortest of any of the of any of the chapters made yet. Not by a lot with the first one. The first one's like 36 minutes, something like that. But yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that. So I might throw together a new chapter title card in the near future called Bonus Chapter, and then the actual chapter name, like that chapter names, I call them things like story, gameplay, visuals, and aesthetics. The open world one I called the cost of open world, and the thing of everything before release I called approaching legendary arrivals or something like that. So what kind of cool chapter name can I have for story rewrite? Like, I could maybe play into the whole time travel thing. Like, maybe call it an alternate timeline or something? I don't know. I'm stumped right now, but I'm trying to come up with, like, a cool title for a chapter based on a story rewrite. Right now, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank, though. But, you know, if I can come up with a cool title for it, that'd be neat. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Yeah, I'm ready for some strength training here and stuff. This is always the most useful here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be the first person to combat you just grew up to get out of the way. Yeah, it's like ripping off a band-aid. Just do it fast. Just do it as soon as possible.
Looking good.
That's the strat there. Oh, speaking of like publishing parts of it, I might for members publish chapter 2 tomorrow, since I don't have any other big uploads planned. I haven't been on top of, you know, Peculiar Potions as much as I could be because of all the other projects going on around here. So maybe I've already published chapter 1 for members and stuff. So maybe I'll publish chapter 2 for members. Like, I have all the way up to chapter 3 basically done. But the question is, like the new stuff that has happened since making those, namely the updates on here's the DLC coming up, and the stuff with the Suicune and Verizon stuff. Where do I put that in? Like, what chapter would I put it in? Would I just put it in, like, conclusion before the end, being like, hey, during the production of this video essay, here's all the other new news that came to light. In the gameplay chapter, which is like an hour long, I do have a section towards the end where, whoops, I'm bad today. I do have a section where it's like, here's all the stuff that I missed, and it just, like, rapid fires a whole bunch of things. Wow, I suck today. Holy crap. That could also be a good opportunity to shoehorn in, like, major stuff as well that gets talked about, like, the stuff with those DLC thingamabobs. But, like, where would it most, like, fittingly get shoehorned into, I wonder? Would it be into the gameplay chapter? Which is already pretty long. Would it be somewhere else? My goodness, allergies today. I don't know, but it's something I'm gonna have to figure out where to put in. I do plan to get it out before, you know, the DLC actually fully releases. And then I don't know if I do like a mini one for the DLC maybe. Because I'm not gonna wait until like the end of this year to publish that video essay. I want to make one on Xenoblade 3. I'm gonna wait until that thing's full DLC is out, just because I don't have the time to work on it before that point anyway. I do hope to get it out, like, maybe sometime April, May, is what I hope, which should be before even the first DLC. So we shall see there. You grew up, that's why this is the worst optimized Pokemon game in the modern era. Honestly, maybe the worst optimized Pokemon game ever. Like, I feel like when that game came out, Pokemon Red and Blue were like, finally a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary in terms of glitches and stuff, you know.